Welcome to another episode of Fireside at the Farm. We got the boys from Barstool Sports here today. We got Chef Donny. We got Mike Katic, the legend from Indiana himself. So you got the gold jacket right there, custom made for each of you. I went behind your backs, talked to your multitude of personal assistants, was able to get your sizes. As you can see, they fit perfectly. Come on in. Have a seat. The water's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You guys look amazing.
It feels wrong wearing this.
Probably weren't as big as mine when you were
They
playing.
weren't. You know, look at that. He's going to rip the jacket, but he looks amazing doing it, though.
Yeah, I'm
this
ripping mine, too.
might be the cover shot for our big man calendar for Barstool, I think.
I mean, I am so honored, obviously, to wear this. But, I mean, I feel like we're making a mockery of the Hall of Fame.
I don't believe so
by us
because
two idiots.
you guys are each Hall of Famers in your own right. Thank you so much for being here, coming down to the farm, getting a chance to see our cattle, learning what it's like to be a farmer. Just some of the day-to-day surprises that always happen because no matter what you got planned, plans change real fast when you get punched in the face. That's what Mike Tyson said. I think he was maybe talking about farmers. So for you guys, peaks and pits. When I'm with the kids at the end of a day, we're sitting at the dinner table. We like to sit down and chat, talk about the highs and lows, reflect on the day. Give me a reflection here, Chef Donny, on your experience, the Hall of Fame experience out here at the farm with me.
Peak definitely was heavy machinery. That's just a childhood dream, like sandbox to real life. I mean, that day was unbelievable. I've always had like the childhood dream of being a farmer and getting to use heavy equipment, operate large machinery.
Half man, half beast. Chef Donny to the rescue.
Yeah, Don! Whoa! God damn, son!
He's figuring it out as time goes on.
Yeah, I think I got it now. Here we go. Ramming into this thing. Here we go.
I was impressed with Chef Donny. His ability to operate heavy machinery was incredible. I didn't know you had it in you, but there must be some parallels between the attention to detail, the mise en place that you have to have as a chef, and then when you're operating machinery, right? It's totally outside of your normal wheelhouse. But I think there's got to be some parallels there that allowed you to pick it up really quickly.
Yeah, there must be, or maybe like some fine motor skills with the knife. Did hit some steel in the cattle the cattle feed. I had one little bump that but one little bump with that can rip something out.
Whoa! You don't want to hit these things.
Yeah.
When we first got cattle in 2018 and we built our cow-calf barn and I was feeding hay in the winter and still kind of learning how to operate all the machinery and stuff. There's a few broken curbs and bent fence posts and stuff from my first few times. So it's impressive that you only made minor damage up there in the Wagyu Resort.
I'll take that. Yeah. Pit. I think we can probably agree on this. The shoveling the shit by hand was not the most pleasant, but I get why you had us do it.
There's a little hazing element when you're a first-time farmhand. You got to come out here and earn your stripes, right? Nobody's giving things away for free on the farm. There's no free lunches in life. Certainly not on the farm. So we had to make you work a little bit before you got to learn. You know what? We don't actually always do everything by hand. We do have these nice, shiny Caterpillar machines over here that can help us out. So for you, Katic, peaks and pits.
I'm going opposite of Donnie. I'm going, my pit was the heavy machinery.
Wow.
I suck at it.
Really? Surprising for a big man.
Right. You'd think, lunch pail kind of offensive line guy. He knows how to operate heavy machinery. Not me. I got in that tractor and poor Sawyer was just probably cringing the whole time.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Let's go, Mike.
I've never drove like anything manual, so I had to do clutch, brake, and then I would mix up brake, clutch, and it would stall out. Super sensitive, enormous machinery.
You were the big
dude,
dog.
One thing, I could kill this whole crew. I mean, it's scary, dude. So that was probably my pit. My peak was the Campfire last night. The cooking chef absolutely nailed that chimichurri. Me and Joe were talking about, like the little strawberry sweetness. Unbelievable. Every cut of steak was unbelievable. And then just the boys hanging out. Once everyone left, it was just us three. Just like getting to know more about each other, hanging out, having some beers. Like that is what I envision, like camping and being on a farm and hanging with the boys. Like after a long day of hard work, sitting there eating and drinking with the boys. Like that is just, felt like a locker room. It felt like you were back in the locker room hanging out, It was awesome. I loved it.
I'm wondering if today would be a lot better than we were yesterday.
Now that we've built that like camaraderie and that telepathic connection, maybe.
I think so. There was a lot of yelling going on yesterday. I think today would be a little
Mainly
bit.
you and me.
No, it was me. Yeah, it was me. I wanted to use the dozer.
The man was living his dream,
I
and he
was
was
yelling
sitting
at
there.
myself.
He was snoozing in the dozer, waiting for our fearless dump guy to be able to bring him some dirt, which
just needed-
only happened a couple times.
I needed dirt. I wanted to push the dirt around.
I
Then,
know,
but when we got
dude,
rained
I
out.
know.
That rain was such a kill. Because you can't with the dozer in the rain.
it's
done.
making more of a mess than it's worth. So that meal that we had last night around the campfire was epic. That's one of those ones where when I'm laying there on my deathbed someday, I'm going to reflect back on that chimichurri sauce that you put together. You whipped it up in the kitchen. I should have known you were up to something, because the plan for us big guys, we're not very sophisticated. It was like, hey, we'll just get some Hall of Fame Wagyu, some beef, and then some potatoes, throw them in some tinfoil, and you wouldn't allow that subpar meal to be put together. So you snuck into the kitchen. You made the most amazing chimichurri sauce that I've ever had. You got to give us a little bit of flavor of why was that the world's greatest chimichurri sauce? Most people are saying this.
Yes. The secret you guys asked, you said, what's the sweetness in there? And I said, I made a vinegar with strawberries. So I had some strawberries blended up and put them in a champagne vinegar and let that soak in. So that's all the sweetness came from the strawberries in there, which is nice. It balanced out. I try to put a little heat in there, but that sweetness is something you usually wouldn't get. But the Hall of Fame beef, don't get me wrong, that's good enough on its own. You don't need chimichurri for that. But I felt like, you know what, let's do last minute tacos, make a chimichurri, and see how the boys like that. And I'll tell you what, the cuts, I've never had it. The bavette might be my new favorite cut of beef.
Unbelievable.
I think that's the first time I've ever eaten that.
Same.
That was incredible. That was so good. The fat on there, and it just melts in your mouth. And then the taco was unbelievable. That's top of my list now for cuts of beef.
Katic, reflections on the beef selection, right?
No notes. I mean, the buttery fat that just melts in your mouth, and then you got the tortilla that you said is your favorite vessel, one of your favorite vessels of all time. You got the taco, you got the bavette in there, and then the chimichurri on top, and that oil's dripping around the plate. You're scooping all of it up. Man.
There's something about cooking over an open flame too, like with nothing fancy, just a grate and a cast iron pan that makes everything taste better. That rawness, that primalness of that takes it up another level in flavor.
One of the things that I love when we bring people out here, obviously having our own beef company, having the cattle that we're raising right here out our front door, being able to show you guys what a bavette is like. And I remember pulling that out and saying, guys, we got to cook this. You're going to love it. Because it's a little bit like skirt steak. It's got a little bit more of that big, wide grain. And because it's Wagyu, it's very, very tender and buttery. And so when you cook it the way you did, and then you finish it with a little bit of that Hall of Fame tallow, you gave it that amazing crust and sear, but then it's still just pulled apart like a beautiful skirt steak, which just makes the most delicious tacos. And the fact that you didn't pop your shirt off really hurt my feelings a little bit, because you got to be the sexiest chef that I've ever met in my life. And in that moment, just seeing the focus and the deep attention to detail and love for what you were putting, the passion that you're putting into that Hall of Fame Wagyu with that bavette.
If I looked like you, Joe, I would cook without a shirt on every day. If I were you, I wouldn't even wear a shirt.
You're looking
I don't
pretty
have
good.
quite the physique you do, but someday I'll get there if I spend more time in your gym here.
So for me and Katic, I think they only want to see us 1 month on the big man calendar. But for you, you could have your own calendar, all 12 months plus the cover model.
I don't know
doing
about
this,
that.
dude.
Well,
We
like
gotta do it.
I gotta get in the gym. I'll throw
Next
some
time we
weight
come
around.
up, next time
Doesn't
we come
need
up
the
here,
gym.
we have to have a full calendar for Joe.
We're doing a calendar. Right?
Next
You're in
time
the
we come
calendar
up,
too.
I will be, of course. I'll put a thong on. I don't
I'd
care.
love to see that again.
Yeah.
Again, I should say again, because we had a nice night in the tent. That almost happened. It happened in my mind. It happened in my mind as I was comfortably sleeping in the air conditioned
was
bunk.
so nice
do you
of
want to
you.
share? This is like a true confession here for you. We were
I
going
thought
to
it was
sleep in
you
the
that brought
tent.
it up.
No.
This is my show. You guys can't reveal all my secrets here right now.
Joe?
All right, next topic. So we were talking about the greatest vessels of all time for a meal. I said tortillas up there for me. For you, Chef Donny, as the resident expert here, the Hall of Fame chef, give me your top 3 all-time vessels for delicious entree, main, center plate items.
We going sandwich or we
Whatever
going
you
just
want,
in
just
general?
whatever vessel.
Vessel.
I said tortilla when me and Katic were talking.
Tortilla is a good one. Tortilla
It's
is
so
hard to beat.
versatile. It's so
The versatility wins. It's like ranch to me.
Right.
You could put it on anything.
Because tortilla, you can go breakfast, you can go dinner, you can hit all three. I like a good, crusty, thick countryside sourdough bread. Like I don't think you can go wrong with that because you can toast it up and you can serve it open face sandwich. You can close it. You can make a panini. You can press it. So for me, a good crusty sourdough bread is.
Do you have a number 2?
I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna go something crazy for my number 2. Ooh. Probably like a puffed rice chip. So you take rice. This is something we did when I was in France. You take. I like to do it with a purple rice or a different rice. You cook that rice and then you blend it up, and so it becomes a paste. And then you spread that out overnight, and it'll dry. And you have this dried rice now, and it looks hard. You can kind of see through it. You can't eat that yet. And then what you do is you take that, throw it in hot oil or some Hall of Fame tallow, and boom, it puffs right up, and you have like this beautiful light rice chip. I'll make it for you in the office. It's good. And you can put caviar in that.
Why
you
is
can
he waiting? Come on.
put a little bit of tartare on that. So that'd be my second choice.
Oh,
for
baby.
sure. And then I think you got to go old school. Like I would just go English muffin if I'm going breakfast sandwich.
That's pretty good.
Good old fashioned English muffin.
Katic, top 3.
I mean, my biggest, like, I love bagels so much, but like, it's not as versatile as a tortilla. So like breakfast wise, bagel, easy, hands down. But if we're talking everything from burritos to tacos to quesadillas to, we were talking about it all last night. We were like salivating. I think
After
tortillas
we
got to
ate
be
3
2.
pounds of beef.
Right. I think tortillas got to be 2 just for versatility wise. It's incredible. Incredible.
See, bagel, I love a bagel, but I think for the sandwich, if you scoop it out, the ratio for me is too much bread, but also the hole in the middle, you lose some pop. If you cut it in half, you get some falling out. Don't get me wrong, a good bagel with cream cheese or schmear or a little bit of lox and some smoked salmon and some red onion on there, delicious. But sandwich, sometimes it gets
That's
too
fair.
messy. But
Totally
to each their
fair.
own. Nothing wrong with a bagel.
Totally fair. I get it.
I own part of a bagel restaurant, Gotham Bagels. There's
you
several
do?
in Chicago.
Yeah. Wait,
we got one in Madison.
That's you?
Well, I didn't start it.
No
My good
way.
friend Joey Bagels from Madison started it.
That's all I
and
eat.
so we're
Gotham's the
partners.
best.
So we got to hook you guys up. We'll have to bring some Gotham
You're
over
just
to the
telling us this
stop.
now?
Yes,
That's
I
all
had
I
no
eat.
idea.
Sorry,
Chicago, that's
dude.
all I eat.
How great is
It's
Gotham?
impossible to find a good bagel. After living in New York City, the bagels are unreal. and then
that's
the
the
only
only
place
one.
that compares is Gotham. And I went to Madison. At Madison, when we get
There you go.
our bagels are always from
Right
Gotham.
there.
How are we just figuring
That's
this
me
out?
and Joey
Yeah.
Bagels. Sorry, man. Hey,
Dude,
it was
they
a side
give-
note. I
they
didn't
give a
realize I buried the
great-
lead.
Great schmear.
Yes.
So much cream
Yeah.
cheese.
All right, there you go. That's
Yep.
what a
Everything
what a
in-house.
connection.
Yes,
That's
I love
awesome.
it.
Incredible.
Yes, that's
It just
amazing.
gets
So
better.
Joey
we got
Bagels.
beef and bagels. We're
Beef and
set on.
bagels.
We're wearing
So-
Hall of Fame jackets, man.
We,
What the hell?
we may be teasing something that's coming in the future here. Some Hall of Fame Wagyu bagel sandwiches by Gotham Bagels. Just saying, it might be happening anytime soon. Here.
Sign me up. Let me know.
So-
and I'll
If you
be
need
the
a little
first in
guinea
line.
pig to try all these
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things,
We'll
please
make
let
sure
me know.
to send you a few cases. in
Yeah,
the
we'll
mail,
do some
my
R
friend.
and D at the office.
Yes.
We'll get it going.
So as big guys, we're always talking about food, right? It's all about food for us when we get together. It doesn't matter if I've never met somebody before. If he was a lineman, first time we met, we hit it right off when I was in the Barstool office. And then shortly after talking lineman nerd stuff, we always talk food. So if you're thinking back, favorite meal you've ever made in your entire life, going all the way back, maybe childhood, maybe there's some nostalgia around a meal you made with mom or grandma or whatever. But I'd love to hear from a Hall of Fame chef, that meal that really just sticks out in your mind when you fall asleep at night.
I'm going to go with something that I grew up eating. It's not necessarily the most fancy or chefy meal at all, but it brings me back to my childhood. My mom, she wasn't a great cook, all right, but she tried. I'm one of 5 kids, so she was cooking every night. She was doing her best, but she made one dish lights out every single time. It was a chicken with cream of mushroom. So she'd take old school, just cans of cream of mushroom, and she'd pour that all over the chicken, and then she would get Ritz crackers and crush up the Ritz crackers on top and bake that. And there was nothing fancy about it, but still to this day, I think about it and I go, that's when I think of my childhood favorite meal, that's what comes to mind. Just warm, hearty in the wintertime in Minnesota. There's nothing better than that. And it fed all 5 of us, all the kids would just come in. There you go, 2 casserole dishes gone like that. So that's probably my quintessential, just when I think of comfort food, it's that.
That is incredible.
One of the really popular things in the chef world now is taking like comfort food dishes that we grew up on and, elevating it to the chef style. So if you were going to take your mom's chicken casserole with Ritz crackers on top, how would you elevate that to a level where you'd be like, we can serve this in my
I
restaurant?
love that question.
I'd probably start with, she would just throw chicken breasts in there. I don't know if she'd even season it. I would
Midwest moms,
yeah,
no
yeah,
salt and pepper. It doesn't
yeah.
even exist in their kitchen.
I would swap that out for either a roasted chicken or a skin on bone on chicken thigh.
Oh,
And
like
I
an
would-
airline chicken.
Yep, and I would get that super, super crispy. So you get that like glass-like skin almost. And in that sauce, I would make it not with the cream of the Campbell's cream of mushroom made soup, but I would get beautiful morel mushrooms and some chanterelles and so do like a nice blend of wild mushrooms and cook that down with some cream and some butter and then blend it a little bit, but not too much. So you still have kind of chunks of mushroom in there and then serve that bottom sauce, chicken with the crispy skin right on top, and then maybe make an herb oil to go right over that. And that would be boom. That's how you elevate that. You got to bring the Ritz crackers in somehow. So maybe make a dust, very fine powder with Ritz crackers and toast it, and then just kind of sprinkle the Ritz cracker. You have that element in there.
Didn't even know those things were possible. Like the level of your brain is like talking to Einstein in the chef world, man.
I don't know about that, but we'll have to try that now.
Like
now
how can you just
it.
turn like, okay, cream of mushroom, we'll talk about the chantelles and then we'll dust the oil. Like how do you, I don't even.
It's the same way you guys can play football. I mean, I look at you guys and like reading, like you guys were going off about plays last night and like shifts and this and that. And I was like, dude, I just let the ball get snapped. The guy hits the other guy and the hopefully it works
in the
out.
end zone and then we drink beer.
So it's the exact same way, everyone can do whatever they're meant to do or specialize at doing. It's just mine happens to be food.
True.
So
That's incredible.
I think everyone has that in them of their own niche, and like the whole goal of life is trying to figure out what that is.
Your
and
avenue,
and enjoying it every
You
day.
definitely figured it out.
Love that it's food. Food makes it easy because
Makes
everyone likes
everybody
to eat,
happy.
and everyone has to eat. Everyone likes to eat. So if you can cook, it's a good way to make friends. It's an easy. way
Nothing
to
brings people together better than a great meal.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the passions that I had when I decided to get into cattle. It was, how do I be a great servant in life after I'm retired from football, right? It started with my family and my kids and my community. And the one thing that you always know when you walk into somebody's house, whether it's the Midwest, the South, the East, how you show somebody love, you make them a nice meal, right? When they're your guests, you bring them over, you become their servant for their belly.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the beautiful things for me, being able to raise farm to table Wagyu out here in this amazing driftless pasture. It provides some incredible beef for an amazing, talented Hall of Fame chef to be able to have that palate, to create an amazing meal for friends, bring people together. And to me, that's what the farming community is all about, right? It's like bringing people together. Your nearest neighbor might be a mile and a half down the road, but if you need some chicken eggs and you don't have any, they're going to give it to you as well as the shirt off their back. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But growing up in the Midwest, Minnesota guy, Pittsburgh guy, I know that our upbringings were similar. Every night, casseroles, right? That was the staple growing up. I'm curious, for a guy that grew up in Pittsburgh, was casseroles as big of a part of your childhood as it was for being Donny?
Oh, yeah. My mom loves her casseroles. Chicken noodle casserole, she made that. Tuna casserole, she had that. I mean, she was a casserole demon. And every chance she could get, maybe she was working or my dad was working late, she would just easy casserole right in the oven. And she would just leave it. And then she'd maybe go to work and we would just take it out of the oven when it's ready. We serve ourselves and that you're good to go. Like, so, I mean, but it was a lot of, I grew up, like pierogies are a big, like pencil. I don't know
Mrs. T's
if it's
pierogies?
No.
Is that a Ohio brand?
Miss T's, like that is like
Is
the
it Mr.
kind of
T's or Mrs. T's? I'm
I think
sorry.
it's Mrs. T's.
I will go with it.
But
Sorry.
you have to find like the small Ukrainian or Polish shops that are very like small and just family owned. They push out the greatest pierogies. And you can get like, I mean, this is what I've wanted to cook with you for a while, pierogies. But like you can get like the bacon cheddar pierogies. You can get like the kibasi and sauerkraut pierogi. And it is just to die for. So like that is, when you ask me like what my comfort food is when I growing up, it was pierogies and just sweated buttery onions.
Sounds great.
It's
I think you get good pierogies in Chicago. There's a good there's Ukrainian
Dante,
village and
yes.
stuff.
I think I need to go there and get some
We
pierogies.
should do maybe a pierogi tour and
would-
see how many spots we can hit.
Does pierogi belong on the Mount Rushmore of food vessels? Like, would that be included? Since you can put a lot of different interesting things in. I didn't grow up eating pierogies, so I'm a pierogi
You
newbie.
can, but I wouldn't say it's on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
But there are so many different avenues you can take with a pierogi.
Yeah.
You can stuff it with so many different things, but it's just, I don't know. It's in it's in a field of its own. Like you can't, I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking pierogi when Vessel came up because now I'm rethinking my whole thing. I would sub in dumpling.
Oh.
I would put a dumpling in there. Dumpling is like that might be 1-1 Vessel. I spent a little time in China when I was starting at Barstool and Shanghai, and I had enough money just to eat basically dumplings and noodles every single day. It was the cheapest meal, but a good dumpling.
Wow.
I think a good dumpling is hard to beat, especially if we use some Wagyu in there. Soup dumpling with the tallow in there that make the gelatin with that. That might be something we have to
so
try. Next time you're in
Next
Chicago in the office, we're going to make dumplings.
We're doing
hungry.
it. I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So obviously a lot of parallels between farming and moving heavy equipment, moving dirt, and the chef world. For you, Katic, your life has been all about football, right? That's what you've continued into with Barstool as the football expert there with Barstool. And unfortunately, Big Cat has to move to the side because now we got Katic in the office, the brilliant mind of Katic. Is there any parallels that you see between like your world as a center in the middle of that offensive line and what you were able to experience when you came out here to the farm for the Hall of Fame experience, farming, moving dirt, moving heavy equipment, getting in the skid loader?
Well, I can see definitely there's parallels of, especially with heavy machinery, like having a calm presence, being able to, even if you're, doing the excavator, like you have to be able to communicate, beep the horn when you're ready to go, or beep the horn when you're too backed up or whatever. Like, Lucy, push it. Push. You got a Ricky 47's the mic. Like, there's so many parallels. I mean, even looking at the cattle, I'm like, look at the boys out here, man. Just eating, chilling, shitting anywhere. Like, that is just awesome. I love that. If I was a cattle getting fat up before I died, what a great life to live.
Not a bad life.
No,
Can you imagine? I told my kids that. I said, when I'm ready to go, just stick me up in the Wagyu resort, put the feed trough in front of me, dump a bunch of Chef Donny's food in there 4 or 5 times a day. I'll sit there, don't even have to go to the bathroom. It's right there next to me. So literally, I mean, you put a TV on and some Saturday or Sunday football on.
Don't even have to worry
I
about
don't really
wiping
need
your
to
ass.
go anywhere. And then pretty soon before you know it, you're a burger. And I'm happy to be of service even after life, right? If you guys want to put me on a Chef Donny
Unreal.
burger,
We can work that out.
don't play it in America. I don't think that cannibalism thing is accepted yet. But if it is, you're the cook that's
Find the
doing it.
spot.
For me.
I'll
I'd be honored. I'd
And
be honored.
Katic volunteers to eat it. that's fantastic.
Oh, man.
So anything that you learned, Chef Donny, being out here on the farm, we started out days going as planned. All of a sudden, boom, thunderstorms move in, big storm. Middle of the storm, neighbor shows up. Cows are on the highway, need to get them off. Big problems. Everybody springs into action. That was cool for me to see because up until that point, everything's kind of going as planned, as scheduled. You got an idea of what the day is going to look like. And then as a farmer, something happens and everything just completely changes. You got to pop up and you don't even think about it. You just go and do the work.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parallels to a kitchen in that sense where you have a plan and everything goes the opposite way. I always say when I'm cooking food that you haven't ruined the dish until you've put it on the plate. The dish, nothing's ever fucked up until the end. You can always save something. You can always adjust. You can always pivot. You can always turn the sauce into something else. So it felt that very much the same way with farming is everything can be going right. And now we're gonna pivot. Now we got to go fix a fence. We'll drop all our hands. And I just like I appreciate that everyone had the same kind of energy about if there's a problem, no one's slacking. Everyone's up and their boots are on before they're even out the door. They're ready to go. So that aspect of the rah like can do no days off, no breaks is nice. I think it makes you just appreciate. You can sit down after a long day at work and you feel like you've earned the seat. You've earned a couple of beers. It makes a big difference.
Agreed. I think I've just gained such a high respect for farmers and understanding the value of what you guys do every single day. Even all the young kids that come in, interns that are just busting their ass every day just to, gain some respect and feel like a part of a family of farmers, and seeing the value of these cattle. I mean, these are your players. Like these are you're doing everything you can to put your best cattle out there and to create the best product. And that, I thought that was so cool. And another parallel to football is like, you're not putting your young, bad players, your rookie guys on the field. Like, you're putting your best players, your best cattle out there so that you can create the best product. And it's just so cool to watch, like the different gates up there, the younger cows. And then you get up all the way into like the fat big boys, and it's just like
the O-linemen
wow,
are
like
the
how
end.
that's like your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. And there's just like, I just found myself pinching myself like, this is unbelievable. And this is only a portion of the cattle. I mean, you have like 400
There's
cattle.
quite a few. Yeah.
That is just incredible. And then yesterday when we saw the calves, the 2-day-old calves in the pasture over here with their mom, it's such a cool experience. And I thank you so much for letting us come out. And because I've gained such a respect for everyone. I mean, production, the farm hands, I mean, it's incredible.
It's cool to see too how passionate your farm hands are. Like Hayden and Sawyer, the brothers, are any question I had, they had an answer. They're happy to explain it. They were very happy. Like Katic, like, I know nothing about farming, and with the first time in those machines, we were idiots, and they were very patient, very calm. They didn't laugh. I mean, they let everyone laugh.
Yeah. Little laugh. That's part of it, right?
They didn't laugh us and
Part of
like
being
just
on
throw
team.
us
It would
out
have
the
been
door.
weird if they didn't laugh.
Yeah, it was a kind laugh. It wasn't just like, fuck, these guys can't do it. They took the time to baby us through it, and it shows you how much they care about the success of what they're doing farming-wise too, which is nice to see. I think that makes a difference with the food that you're putting out and when you're cooking it. Like, if there's love and care all the way at every step of the way, you're going to get a much better product and satisfy people.
You talked about the parallels of working in a kitchen with your team and working on the farm with the team. Can you remember that one moment that sticks out in your mind of the fire drill happening in the kitchen, and when the whole team had to come together, pull it together to get that dish out the door to keep those customers happy, so that everybody front of house has no idea that back of house, the place might be burning down with the Chinese fire drill?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the biggest example, there's multiple, but like the craziest one for me personally was back in 2 summers ago. I opened up my own pop-up. I had spent the summer of 23 in France working at a restaurant there, learning all new things. So my goal was, after that France summer, was to come to Chicago and do a French fine dining, the tasting menu restaurant. And I was going to bring 2 of my cooks from France. The 3 of us were going to run it together. And these guys were rock stars. We're supposed to open in a week. So they were flying in the week before. We're going to test all the menu. We had everything planned out. I tell them, guys, just say you're here to visit, 90-day. You don't need a work visa. Just leave your knives at home. Something got lost in translation there, because they flew with their knives and with their chef coats. And as they're going through customs, they asked them, they go, "What are you guys here for?" And I told them, whatever you say, just don't say work. Their English isn't great. Eventually, they told the customs that they were working. So they got sent right around back to France. So my restaurant's supposed to open in a week. I lose my 2 rock, my Jordan, my Pippin are
my
gone.
goodness.
So then I had to rally a whole. We had the guys were just jumping to help out. I had a buddy that chef friend here. Those guys all heard about it. They're like, "Donny, we're with you. We'll rally. We'll make it the same menu. We'll train some guys that don't necessarily know French fine dining, but we'll make it happen." So like the whole community of the guys that I was able to build into my team were just all the energy level was that much up there, because we had nothing. It was literally make or break. So it worked out, thank God, but it was a lot more stressful than it had to be initially.
That's wild.
It was fun though.
Katic, we talked a lot about NIL, transfer portal, how different maybe your college experience was just from when you were a freshman to when you were, a 10th year senior, Van Wilder over here, to my experience, no NIL, no transfer portal. Like, you were just at a spot for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm curious how things have changed just watching when you were a freshman, the development, the bond that a team has, to all of a sudden you got to make that bond every single year now with a whole host of new teammates. How were you able to make that transition? How were you able to make it work as you were one of the senior leaders on the team? Any parallels there to kind of what Chef Donny was talking about?
It's difficult. I mean, you go from, and you can attest to this, you come in with a class, you rise with that class every single year. And so my first 3 years, it was kind of that. And then, people started transferring. And then as you get older and as you're the head chef, like, you have to create new relationships with your staff. And with me, it was creating new relationships with 50 new players. And it was like, I love the boys. If you couldn't tell, like, the only thing I miss about football is the locker room, like hanging out with everyone. So I made it my goal to really take all these guys and like bring them in, make them feel like they're at home, make them feel like I can be the guy if they need anyone, restaurant recommendations, what to get here, blah, blah, blah. Like I wanted to be the guy that they could look to for that. And so I was a captain my 5th year, and I made it my goal to like have everyone over at my house every Saturday, have some beers, build that off the field stuff. Cause you're going to build the on the field stuff. You're going to build that relationship in the kitchen, but it's like getting those guys out of the facility and like that weight of and that pressure of like, oh, is coach watching? Oh, blah, 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 blah. But like just hanging out on my front porch, having some beers, you know, doing beer Olympics, having an O-line case race. Like these are all the things. And
normal
then
stuff.
Yeah. And then when I got like NIL and I had money, I would take everyone out every 2 weeks to a nice dinner, get everyone fed, and just like build those connections off the field. And it turned out, I mean, it was the closest team that I've ever been a part of was my 6th year when we were really good. And, you know, it was a lot of guys that had the similar mindset to me of let's just build this team from the inside out. Let's make these relationships. Let's hang out. Let's go bowling. Let's go paintball. Let's go just chill outside. Build those, where your family from? Like, where are you from? You know, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of just this weird, but it's an adaptation. Like everyone, is that in a word? Adaptation.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
But like that's the day and age of college football now. Is everyone has to adapt to the new NIL, transfer portal, coaches, and so it's weird, but that's just the day and age of college ball now, and you got to roll with it.
We're not changing anything, but from your freshman year, no NIL, no transfer portal,
Right.
to senior year, do you think it's been a positive for college football?
As a player, I'm going to say yes, because I benefited off the money. You know, like I'm never going to say no to a lot of money, but I think from a fan's perspective and like from the identity and the culture of college football, that it's kind of lost its touch a little bit, just because there's no, like I said, there's no guys coming up together and being with the same class. You got so many new faces everywhere. Guys are transferring 3-4 times. I'm like, what the hell? Like that is just that's not college football. And so I think from an outside perspective, you lose that Saturday morning wake up and you lose that kind of spark a little bit. But from a player's perspective, I loved it because I benefited from it.
Do you think that side of it gets any better the longer we are into this NIL era?
I think it just keeps getting steeper and steeper.
Really?
Like, I think the money now, I mean, even listening to what some guys are making now, it's even in 3 years, it's climbed to that much. Like offensive linemen are making, 10x what I made, and it's only been 3 years removed. So it's like, I think it's going to keep going up and up and up until something explodes. And it's just this huge, I don't know. I hope not, but I think that's what the trajectory that we're on.
What was your one fuck you purchase that you did when you got your first NIL check?
Honestly,
or maybe I shouldn't say one. What was the biggest fuck you purchase?
I think it was giving my parents a lot of money. Like that was something I've always wanted to do. And obviously a dream of mine was playing in the NFL and like paying off mortgage or like buying them a house. Like that's what I wanted to do. But I got that check and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them just some money to do whatever the hell they want with it. My dad got a smoker. My mom was shopping like crazy.
Sweet. Love it.
So like doing that for them, that was my biggest purchase that I did, I guess, But other than that, it was just building memories. Like I would spend thousands of dollars on a weekend just for like, if my friends were coming up for a weekend or for a game, like buying tables and buying bottles, like just doing that. I was doing it more for the memories rather than buying a car or shoes or clothes or whatever. Cause I didn't really care about that. I just cared about fucking making the memories with the boys.
Yeah,
That's
baby.
awesome.
So you did have a Lamborghini though that you drove around campus. You want to tell us about that?
Did you have a big one when you signed your first NFL
Yeah, what was
contract?
that?
What your
No,
big-
nothing exciting. Just bought a house, right? I just got
Yeah.
married right before my rookie season, and I didn't sign my contract till like 3-4 days into training camp. So I really didn't make any money until all of a sudden, hey, training camp's here.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to spend money, you don't have time to do it,
Exactly.
which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But got the wife a house, and then really my big first fuck you purchased was where you're sitting right now at the
It's a
farm.
pretty good one.
This is
Yeah.
the biggest fuck
Which
you.
it
This
was
is awesome.
it was something that I didn't have dreams of it becoming what it is now.
Yeah.
With the Hall of Fame Wagyu business and the beef business, and we raise all sorts of crops out here. And now this has become a real centerpiece for my friends and my family, where we come to get away and to be able to do fun stuff and make new friends and new memories like we do right here with you guys.
Incredible. I will say, I would not know that we're in Wisconsin. If you
Isn't that
blindfolded
amazing
me
out
and
here?
dropped me here and I open my eyes, you feel like you're in South America or somewhere with these rolling hills or like the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Western Wisconsin is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's incredible out here. Just waking up outside is like, if I could start my day here every day, I'd be a happy man.
Incredible.
Well, one of my favorite things is jumping in the pond, right? We've got this big, beautiful spring pond, one of the biggest springs in this area, 2.5 gallons a second coming right out of the side of the hill. Creates this gorgeous little swimming hole, and you guys all got to do the polar plunge, right?
Yep.
That's one of the big first steps when you're going through that rookie hazing that announces that you're a member of the farm.
Yeah.
You're an official Six Springs Farm teammate.
Love it.
What was that experience for you when you got to jump into that pond, which is about 49, 50 degrees year round?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm a big I'm a cold plunge guy. I love that. Growing up in Minnesota too, cutting a hole in the ice and doing that
Wow,
every now and
that's
then.
extreme.
Not all the time. That's like
Yeah.
that was a rare side, but those were fun. So having the access to that same temperature all year round would be I'd be in there a lot every day if I had the chance to.
Yeah.
I got to get in today.
You hit the water, Katic. What was that like? What was that experience? How did it meet expectations?
The initial shock. I dipped my hand in there the first night we got here, and I was like, it's not too bad. You get your head in there, you get your whole body in there. The initial shock is insane. And then you're like, holy shit, let me surface. I'm alive. Like, let me swim to the rocks. But that adrenaline dump in that like first hot flash you have when you get out of the water and your body's cold, but like the outside of your body's cold, but then your inside are starting to warm up. That is like one of the greatest feelings ever. And I love it, man.
I will say having the ability to have an entire pond that you can dive into, I've never been able to experience that. Usually it's a cold plunge or a cold tub that you're kind of like in a coffin.
right.
That's a cool experience to be able to actually swim around is something not everybody
You got the
gets to do.
fish.
And the fish.
Did you know he was such a spearfishing legend? This guy's like a
He's a
mountain
nut
man.
job.
He swims down, he just grabs trout with his bare hands, and he cooked it up for us that night. It was incredible.
Just emerged from the water.
It's too pretty of a pond to have a fish at the bottom of it. It's we had to get that one out.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you spending some time out here with me, getting to see what the life of a farmer is like a little bit, seeing that it's more than just working the cattle and feeding the cattle and fixing fence. And sometimes you got to get in the equipment. Sometimes you got to fix a road. You never know what the day brings, but having you guys out here with me, being able to do it together, experience it, and then share beers around the fire, listen to some coyotes howling in the woods. That was special, especially everybody already went to bed. We had the cameras that already left, and I think maybe Katic mentioned, she's like, oh man, wish we could have got that on camera. I was thinking the same thing, and then I thought, you know what, it's pretty special. We get to just kind of experience this together. Nobody around, nobody will know about it except for us, so we can lie about it later and say it was even way better than it was, which is the great thing about not having social media when I was in college. You can lie about how great I was, nobody will remember, but I really appreciate you guys coming out, having the Hall of Fame experience with me, sitting down, breaking bread, having an amazing Hall of Fame chef put together some incredible meals for us, and then sitting here by the fire and sharing some stories and breaking some bread. So thank you guys so much for being out here. I'll give you a chance, little final thoughts here from Chef Donny.
Thanks for having us. I mean, this is, again, once in a lifetime opportunity to come out here and get to do all the things we did. It's a dream come true, and then to be able to eat that beef and cook, for me, being able to cook your beef is incredible, and it's a pleasure to do every time. So thank you so much.
Thanks for being here, man. Katic?
Yeah. Piggybacking off Donny, like I can't thank you enough. This is like growing up with some land, but not to this extent. Like coming out here, it's kind of like a childhood nostalgia, just being out in the wilderness, being out in Mother Nature. Like it's so special to me. And I thank you and everyone, your whole staff, for welcoming us in and making this experience so amazing for us. Some hard work, but everything's worth it when you're hanging, breaking bread with the boys and drinking some beers and just talking about the day and hanging out. So thank you so much, and it was awesome.
You do feel like a kid again too.
Right.
Your inner Tom Sawyer comes out when there's a fish in a river, and it's like,
You're riding in the ATVs
Yeah.
and you're just like hanging
fun.
out, man. I love it.
Really appreciate you guys spending the time out here, coming out to learn about the farm and breaking bread. It was a memorable experience I'm not going to forget ever.
Let's go. Keeping the jacket, by the way.
You're allowed to take those jackets home with you. I don't need them anymore. That's the good news. You only need them for one night. That's the beauty. Well, Chef Donny, Katic, thank you guys again. It was an incredible time and look forward to doing it again soon.